There really isn't a single state of aging in America because there are so many different communities and such diverse backgrounds, and people see aging so differently based on where they come from.
This diversity of experiences is not necessarily reflected in dominant cultural perceptions.
What our culture believes is that old people are slow, they're backward, they're weak, they're dependent on the real part of society, which is the younger, stronger part of society.
The assumption is, in middle-class culture and in mass culture, that's perpetuated by consumer culture, that physiological aging is a bad thing, rather than assuming that growing older physiologically is a natural thing. It has some negative consequences. It has some positive consequences. But the assumption is that it's bad and needs to be staved off.
In the United States, the media believes in something I call the doctrine of youth's perfection. In other words, that very, very brief moment somewhere in your 20s when you were perfect. And ever since then, you've been going downhill. That's the media narrative. And so our society holds up very young, inexperienced people as being the paragons of virtue and strength and idealizes them, while setting aside real elders with real lived experience, making them virtually invisible in the media.
We function off a philosophy that being young is the place to be. As we are getting older, we fear what that's going to do to our status in life, to how people view us, to how people think we're competent or not. I think there's a great fear that comes with getting older, and it starts pretty young.
We split the negative and positive parts of aging culturally in our minds. We think aging is either good or it's bad. So to make it good, we'll take all the supplements, all the testosterone, all the plastic surgery, all the workout gym time that we can possibly get so that we can be at our best. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine and wonderful. What's really problematic is the fear that's underneath it.
If you live in a society where you are measured by, judged by, elevated by, or diminished by your performance and your productivity, you live in fear of the day you can't run fast enough. People are afraid of losing their place in society when they can't perform, and that makes them fear age and aging.
The fear of aging causes us not to plan, and that means not planning for our financial future, not planning for our health care future, and not planning for our kind of social, psychological future. On a community level, we definitely are not planning. Our service support system is not adequate now. We're doing things in very traditional ways still when the landscape of aging is changing.